What's up? Welcome to Rayman Can. So if you've ordered this popular race car chair off of eBay, Amazon, Mercari, sites like that, probably Temu, I don't know, a lot of people sell it. They sell it under a bunch of different names, so I'm not going to give it a name. It comes in 2 boxes, and this is how it comes, just like this, right? And it comes with some crazy instructions. Like, this is the assembly instructions right here. This is like no help at all. So I'm going to assemble this chair, and yeah, I guess you can watch this video and hopefully this helps you out. Starting with the seat first. So here's the bottom seat cushion. The first thing we're gonna do is remove these 2 screws. Next up, place this mechanism right here, the one with the actual spring, and then put the 2 screws in the hole. Go right ahead. Go on, put the other one. No, don't screw it, just put the other one. Go ahead, come on. And then screw those 2. And then do the exact same to the other side with this one. Remove the 2 screws, put this in its place, then replace the 2 screws. This is what it should look like when they're both installed. Next up, grab the back piece of the chair and remove these 2 screws right here on both sides. Next up, reinstall the screws. I recommend do it with the side with the spring first, because it's going to be easier to maneuver the side without the spring to adjust it just right. But it's probably going to be harder to adjust this side. So install the screws on this side first, or reinstall the screws and then reinstall them on the other side next. By the way, I recommend not tightening them all the way up until you get the screws in on both sides first, because this thing is a little lopsided. So just put the screws halfway in on this side, then proceed to the other side. Next up, you have 6 screws. 3 is going to go into this part, and 1 is going to go into this part, and it's going to be the same thing on the opposite side. This one right here is going to go on this side. Just slip that over that, and then you're going to just screw that in, and then, whoops, like that, like so. And then this piece right here is going to go right here, and you're going to apply your screw right here. You're going to do the exact same thing pretty much for the other side. The other side doesn't have as many screws for the bottom piece. I think there's only 1 or 2 or something like that. But yeah, so let's go ahead and put our screws in. All right, as you can see, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in place on this side. 2, 3, and 4. And then the other 2 screws go on the opposite side. All right, and there you have it. The chair is officially assembled. As you can see, now it's time to assemble the rig that it sits on. All right, now we have the racing rig all out of the box. And as you can see, these are all the pieces right here. And the first thing I do is take out all my nuts and bolts and simply just kind of do a count and make sure they're all there. And already I think I'm missing 2 pieces. Next thing we're going to do is grab this piece right here. And we're going to put these 2, one on this side and one on that side. And we're going to insert 2 bolts, 2 washers, and 2 nuts on each of these brackets. 2 and 2. All right, so once you're finished with this piece, this is how it's gonna look. Pay attention to exactly where the screws are at, right? So you're gonna skip that hole and go into this one. Skip that one and go into this one. There should be 1, 2, 3 left, open. Flip it around. Same thing on that side. 1, 2, 3 left open, just like that. Let's move on to the next piece. All right, now we're installing this piece right here onto here. And the way that's gonna, well, first off, these are the pieces, the hardware you're gonna need right here. And very easy install, just simply, you're gonna line this up just like that, pretty much. And we're gonna install our nuts, bolts, and screws. And I'll show you that when it's done. All right, so I have this piece put together now, and this is exactly how this goes, just like this top piece. Now, this piece right here is adjustable, so I'm assuming, you know, once you get it all set up, you may want to lower, I think this is some type of footrest. You may want it lower or higher, so you can always take this screw out to adjust it. But I'm just going off how it is in the picture, and this is how it's set up. So same thing for the other side. That's the inside of it. And here's the end, whoopsie. Here's the inside of this. All right, so let's move on to the next piece. All right, next up, we are going to install these two pieces. This one and that one right there. They just go right along the side right here. It's gonna require 6 of these and 6 of those. And a very simple install, right? This is a little bit easier. Gonna just line those up, your 3 holes with these, I'm sorry. You're gonna just line these up with these, there's 3 holes right there. And you're gonna go ahead and put the washers on here and insert those and just tighten them up. No nut needed on the opposite side. And I'll show you how that looks. Oh, and before we do this, make sure that this piece right here is facing outward, because you see the opposite side like that. So when you look at it like that, right? Same thing for that side. On the inside, make sure that that is on the inside. That's very important. All right, let's get started. All right, we have those side pieces installed. They go just like this. Pretty easy install, nice and snug. Tighten them up. There's the inside. And this is how it looks so far. Let's keep it moving. Next up, we are going to install these two pieces right here. It's gonna require 4 of these. And this one's gonna go in here. Whoops. This one's gonna go in here. This one's gonna go there. And I'll show you how that works. All right, so I have those 2 pieces installed. I'm not exactly sure how far they're supposed to stick out at the moment, but it's adjustable. So we just have them in there and we'll adjust it accordingly, I guess, once we get the whole thing set up. But just make sure that these 2 are facing inward. All right, and yeah, and then just tighten them up with those 2. You can kind of see it, you know, go through. I went barely below this hole right here. And let's move on to the next piece. But just so far, this is what we look like at the moment. Next up, we're going to install this piece right here. That's gonna go in between these 2 pieces right here. And what am I gonna need is 4 of these, 4 of these, and 4 of these. Let's get started. All right, we now have this piece installed, and this is how it goes. This is underneath it. I needed a little help with this too, by the way. Made it a lot easier. This is underneath the other side, and this is what the top position looks like. So pay attention to where the holes are at. And not too bad overall. Next up, we're going to install this piece right here. And for this piece, you are going to need, actually I should say this piece and this piece, because they go together. Oops. They go together, right? So you're gonna need 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these. And you need 3 of the shorter bolts and 3 washers. And we should have all this together. This is gonna end up going right here with these holes. It is adjustable, So, you know, if you don't like where it's at, you can always move it. And this is where your shifter is going to go if you have one. So I guess this piece is actually kind of optional. But yeah, that's how it's going to go. And then this is going to go on top of that. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so I'm back. Quick correction. All right, so we have this piece installed, and the screws that it told us to use, screws, washer, the nut, that was correct. All right, as you can see, that's for this piece right here, the shifter bracket. However, it's telling us to use these screws right here, 3 of them. Both are supposed to go through here, 1, 2, and 3. And this is supposed to go on here like this. However, those screws aren't long enough. And the instructions tell us to use those screws. So that's the flaw in the instructions. You're going to need the longer screws. And so far, I have 3 of them, 3 extra ones. I have 4 extra left over so far. So hopefully I don't need them for anything else. But that's the only way that's going to work. So, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. All right, so I have this shifter piece installed. And this is how it looks with the 3 correct screws. Nice and sturdy, and here's the underside of it. With the, there's no washers needed, by the way. All right, let's move on to the next piece. All right, now we have this piece right here. And we're gonna install this and this on top of this. And the way that works, because the instructions are pretty bad, is this is gonna go on here. And I'm assuming this piece is going to be adjustable. So if you need to move it, all right, we're going to stick 2 bolts, 1 on each side with the washers. And then 2 more bolts on this side with the washers. And then these square nuts are going to go underneath. So like under there. And that's how we're going to tighten them up. So I'm going to show you how that looks. As of right now, we have these 2 pieces installed. Now, again, this is adjustable. So I didn't really tighten these up just yet because I'm pretty sure the seat's going to go on top of here. And I'm not sure the exact spacing of that. So I left these just a little bit loose. A few more turns and they'll be tight. But this is how they go on there. Just like this. Requires 4. And then on the bottom of this, I have these square nuts to hold them in place. And like I said, I left these kind of loose for now because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to move them over a little bit, make some small adjustments before I put the seat on top of these. And yeah, let's get started with our next spot. It's gonna be these right here. These poles, they're gonna go inside of there. That is gonna go inside of there. This end's gonna go inside of here, and this end's gonna go inside of here. Gonna apply these 4 pieces to tighten them up. They're gonna go 1 in there, 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 and there. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. This is what it looks like when all the pieces are connected. Now, here comes the flaw with this kit. As I was saying earlier, we are short 2 of these nuts right here. We're short 2 of them. The way this is going to work is these are supposed to go, you're going to need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then this seat right here goes on top of here, and these bolts go through here with the nut on the bottom. That's how it's supposed to work. Now we're short, but for now we're gonna just improvise, and I'm gonna remove this piece right here, and I'm gonna take these 2 nuts for now. And I'm gonna go to Home Depot or Menards and just pick some up. But yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. So we'll still make it work. But yeah, you are short, so it may be a good idea in advance to just pick up 2 extra nuts of this size if you know it. And so that way you don't have to, worry about it later on. Now it's time to install this seat onto the this piece right here, right? So this is kind of tricky. but there's an easy way to do it, right? So you're gonna lift this lever up and pull those rails out from underneath first. And you wanna install the bolts on the front half first. I'm gonna show you how that's done. Okay, I have the chair slid all the way back. And as you can see, I put a bolt in there and bolt in there. Now keep in mind, this only works if you have the chair slid back as far as possible. So you're definitely gonna need two people, or it makes it a lot easier with two people, I should say. Your bolt goes there, and then your washer goes underneath. You just screw it on, just like that. And I'll show you that in a second. And sometimes, if for some reason you can't get the rail to come slide all the way forward, or get the seat to slide back, some needle nose pliers will help. If you can lift this up and just pinch those to pull that forward, that'll help sometimes. As you can see right here, I have the two bolts installed in the front. This is the right side. We have the bolt on top and the nut on the bottom. Then over to the left side, we have the bolt on top and the nut on the bottom. And now I'm gonna just pull this right here. Whoops, back up a little bit. I'm gonna pull this right here and slide the seat forward. As far as it'll go. And that should expose the railing in the back. That should make it a lot easier to install the nut and bolt. All right, now I have the back bolt installed. As you can see, this is the top. I should have turned my light on. This is the top of the other side. And as you can see, the nut is on the bottom. Right? A little tip too, something that I probably would have done differently if I could do this all over again. When you install the two front bolts, don't tighten them up just yet, because you may need to adjust this just a little bit. And these back holes, they're just solid circles, so they're not adjustable, but the front one's more of an oval shape, so you can probably adjust it a little bit. So I would say still install the bolts in the front first, but don't quite tighten them up just yet until you get the back ones installed. That way it'll make it a little bit easier if you need to make some adjustments. But other than that, I didn't really have any problems getting these back ones installed. And now the chair slides back and forth really easy. And I think there's only one more thing to do, and that is to install the ground rubber pieces to keep this thing from sliding all over the place. Another weird thing is it's missing two bolts, but yet it came with all these extra pieces that I have no use for at all. So if you have these pieces left over, don't be surprised. I have no idea what they're for. Not these go on the bottom, but you know, this stuff right here. I have no idea what these pieces are for, and there is no place for them to go. They're just extra pieces. And like, I've never used anything that size, never used anything this size, never used any of those washers, none of those, so I have no idea. All right, now as far as these pillows go, they're pretty straightforward. I recline the chair back like this, take this end, stick it through here, like that, take this in, unstrap it. Same thing, make sure it's nice and flat. Stick it through like that. Then take this in, bring it up and over, and up and over, and I'm gonna bring the chair back up a little bit. So probably should have did that first, and then come around back. Then come around back and just connect it. Same thing here. Come around back, just connect it. Whoops. Like so. And then as far as this one, these two straps like this, and then stick those through the hole and connect. And just even out as necessary. Go take a look at the front. Take a look at the front. And that's it. Next thing we're going to do is install these foam feet. If you're putting this rig on carpet, you probably don't need to do this or worry about this part. But if you have tile, vinyl, hardwood floor, you want to wipe the bottom down first so you can get better adhesion. Then once you're done wiping, go ahead and stick the foam feet around the rig, wherever you want to place them. I put, I think, about 6 on the bottom. Here's a look. that pretty much wraps this assembly process up. Overall, it wasn't too bad to put together. However, like I said, the instructions are very vague and they're not very helpful. So I hope this video helped out just a little bit. Now, the next thing for you to do is go ahead and get your wheel and pedal set and enjoy it. Any questions or comments, please let me know. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. For a link to this particular rig, I'll put it in the bio or description. Check that out. Like, share if you know anybody that would enjoy this, and thanks for watching.